Very good morning, dear students. So, today we are going to discuss the last topic of module number 1. We have been continuing the biogeochemical cycles where we have successfully discussed carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, sulfur cycle in the previous classes. So now another very important cycle that plays a tremendous role in the biogeochemical system, that is known as phosphorus cycle. So in this cycle we are going to see what is the overview of phosphorus, why phosphorus is very important substance, and how this biogeochemical cycling of phosphorus is taking place, and what are the major steps of phosphorus cycle, and what is the role of microorganism in the phosphorus cycle, and what are the detrimental impact caused due to phosphorus cycle. So first we will discuss what is the relevance of phosphorus in this ecosystem. So as you all know, like nitrogen, carbon, sulfur, phosphorus is also one of the most important minerals that is commonly present in the form of inorganic phosphates, that is present in the form of oxidized state, okay, as inorganic phosphate that is present in the rock. In the ecosystem, the phosphorus exists in the form of phosphates, and there are two major forms of phosphates are commonly present. One is white phosphorus and another one is red phosphorus. As the name indicate, the color of the phosphorus. But white phosphorus, mainly white in color, red phosphorus, as you can see here, that is red in color. But due to their high reactivity, most of the phosphorus component never found in the form of a free element in the earth. And the white phosphorus is mainly used in some explosive making, including the rockets, and red phosphorus you can see that is commonly present in the commonly used to make the heads of the match sticks, as you can see here. And this red phosphorus is one of the most important fertilizer as well. And you can see phosphorus is one of the most important component in the genetic material of the organism. Here you can see the sugar phosphate backbone. Due to the phosphate group, the DNA is getting a negative charge, okay, due to the phosphate. Phosphate is the three valencies of the phosphate that has oxygen, the phosphoric acid, and due to that the DNA has got a negative charge. And this phosphorus is one of the most important component in the case of nucleic acids such as DNA and RNA. And the major bond stabilized in this DNA molecule is phosphodiester bond, that in which the involvement of phosphate is very important in that particular step. So then these phosphates are very essential nutrients for plants and animals. As I said, it is a commonly present in DNA and RNA, and this is present in the form of high energy components such as adenosine triphosphate, that is a phosphate derivatives, adenosine diphosphate, adenosine monophosphate, ATP, ADP and AMP. These phosphates are commonly present. And other substituents of phosphate such as calcium phosphate, that is a primary component of mammalian bone and teeth. The rigidity of mammalian bone and teeth are mainly due to the presence of calcium phosphate. Then the presence of phosphate is again evident in the insect exoskeleton, and most importantly the phospholipid bilayer. Okay, the fluid mosaic model of membrane that has a phospholipid bilayer in which make the molecule to semi-permeable in nature. So this phospholipid bilayer, the phosphate is one of the most important molecule. As you all know, the phospholipid has a phosphate a head that is highly polar, charged and highly ionized due to the presence of this phosphorus atom, and you are having the polar unionized fatty acid chain as well. But phosphorus is playing a very vital role in such a kind of membrane. Then phosphorus also, it's a limiting nutrients that is in aquatic ecosystem, and that contribute to the fertility of the soil. As I said, the three important parameters that elements that contribute to the fertility of the soil are: one is nitrogen, we have already discussed, next one is potassium, next one is phosphorus. So these three things constitute the NPK value of a fertilizer that denote the fertility of the soil. And this phosphorus also forms an important sustainable molecule in this earth, because these are very common in the case of a biosphere. And most importantly, the previous class I told all the cycles are happening through the hydrosphere, atmosphere and the lithosphere. There the involvement of soil, involvement of water and involvement of air. But here one peculiar aspect in the case of phosphorus cycle is phosphorus cannot be found in the air in the form of gaseous state. So the involvement of the atmosphere for phosphorus cycle is very limited. That is another important key points here we wanted to tell. Then what do you mean by phosphorus cycle? As you can see, excluding one important layer, we can define the phosphorus cycle. This is a biogeochemical cycle in which that then the movement and circulation of the phosphorus and phosphorus derivatives through the lithosphere, hydrosphere instead of atmosphere, that is mainly through the biosphere. And the atmosphere does not play a significant role in the movement of phosphorus, because most of the phosphorus is present in the form of solid, that is not in the form of gaseous nature. That is why atmosphere does not play a very major important role. And in comparison with all other cycle, phosphorus cycle is expected to be little bit slow. This is the slowest cycle in the biogeochemical cycle what we have discussed as of now. And most of the phosphorus in nature exists in the form of phosphate ion, that is PO4 3- phosphate ion. And you can see the complex reactions that is happening. So much of reactions such as weathering, adsorption, dissolution, precipitation, mineralization, immobilization, that is happening through the hydrosphere and the lithosphere. Okay, so the involvement of atmosphere is very less. So these are the major component that is produced as a form of phosphorus cycle. Then the simplified version of phosphorus cycle we can illustrate in this following way, where three important aspects. Number one, the phosphorus enters soil and water through the process called weathering of rock. Previously also we have discussed in the case of nitrogen cycle. Okay, weathering of rock. And the second one, phosphate is a major constituent in the case of fertilizers. Okay, the phosphate fertilizers is also contribute the phosphorus to the ecosystem. The third one is the surface residue of the plant degradation, and which has removed the cycles by various microorganisms. Plants are the primary producers, and this plant also contributes significant amount of phosphorus, and this phosphorus then goes to convert inorganic phosphorus form to organic phosphorus form, from the inorganic phosphate component to the organic phosphate component by a through the process called immobilization. Okay, then the significant mineralization is also happening, that is organic matter convert into inorganic matter, that is known as mineralization. The complex form of all this debris broken down into simpler form, and they contribute organic form of the phosphate from the inorganic form, that is known as the mineralization. And this the conversion of inorganic form of phosphorus to its organic form is known as immobilization. And a lot of phosphorus that are insoluble in nature, that will be stored in the earth, and or they will be able to form phosphorus leaching, and the leachate will travel for a very long time, and that maintains in the soil as a leach. Okay, and phosphorus leaching is one of the important microbial process in the ecosystem. Then what are the major steps of phosphorus cycle? Like we have discussed in the previous cycle, here the first step is the weathering of rock, the second one is the absorption of the phosphorus by plants and animals, and the third one is the return of the phosphorus through mineralization and immobilization by microbial decomposition. Okay, so here you can see all the most important process here. Okay, the weathering of rock we can see here. Okay, and how it is entering to the fertilizers. Okay, and the organic decomposition you can see. Finally it enters in the aquatic ecosystem. Here there are two important phases plays a vital role, the lithosphere and the aquatic ecosystem. Okay, hydrosphere. Okay, then this is another important form of the phosphorus cycle, little bit complex form. Here you can see the precipitated solid part of the phosphates. Okay, that produces from phosphate that is present in the form of an inorganic form, and that produces rocks. That rock, tremendous amount of rock will be uplifting, and that produces lot of mountain like rock particles, and due to the seasonable climate change, the weathering of rocks happens, and that weathering of rocks produces lot of phosphorus components. Due to the runoff to the aquatic ecosystem, this phosphorus reached the aquatic ecosystem, and the phosphate in the organic component they consumes the animals and plants, and later detritus they decomposes and produces the decomposed form of the phosphorus in the soil. Some phosphorus components will be insoluble in nature, that later undergoes bio leaching by microbial community. Then the phosphorus cycle also has got a lot of microbiological importance. What is the relevance of environmental microbiology? Here in the case of phosphorus cycle also it is very important. In the average concentration of the total phosphorus in the ecosystem is approximately 10 to 20 milligram per liter. That is in the case of water. Okay, I am talking about the microbial importance. Among these three steps, the most important processes are happening in the aquatic ecosystem. So that is why we are concentrating more about the application of microorganism in the aquatic ecosystem. So the major transformation of phosphorus in the aquatic environment consisting of four important steps. Number one, as I discussed, mineralization. Then the next one is assimilation. The third one is precipitation of phosphorus component, and the last step is microbial solubilization of insoluble form of phosphorus into a soluble form of phosphorus that can be utilized for wide varieties of microorganisms and the ecosystem. Then we are going to discuss the aspects of microbial role in detail. The first one is mineralization. As we have discussed, the complex organic phosphorus present in the organisms such as plants, animals, and all the ecosystem such as phytin, inositol phosphate, nucleic acid, phospholipids, etc. are converted or mineralized into simplest organophosphate forms by the activity of bacteria, actinomyces and fungi. These are the three important organisms that plays a very vital role: bacteria, actinomyces and fungi. Bacteria such as Bacillus subtilis and Arthrobacter species plays a very vital role, and actinomyces such as Streptomyces olivaceous, Streptomyces graecis, etc. plays a very vital role, and fungi such as Aspergillus flavus, Aspergillus parasiticus, Aspergillus oryzae, Aspergillus nudulans, okay, all the Aspergillus niger, all those kind of organisms, okay. And in the case of another fungi, Penicillium, Penicillium notatum, Penicillium chrysosporium, okay, Penicillium roqueforti, and all those kind of Penicillium species can be used for the mineralization of the phosphorus component into simpler form. And this an organism that produces certain enzymes, that enzymes are known as phosphatase. That phosphatase are responsible for the complex degradation of the organic phosphorus into the simplest phosphorus derivatives. This process is known as mineralization. Then the second one is the assimilation, followed by the precipitation of phosphorus component, okay. So the assimilation, the microorganism that are assimilates the phosphorus and that enters in the composition of several macromolecules in our cell. Due to the assimilation of phosphorus by microorganism, this phosphorus community enters through the macromolecules in the cell. Some microorganisms, they will be having an ability to store phosphorus components as polyphosphate in their special type of granules, okay. Their microorganisms, especially prokaryotes, they have so many granules. One particular granules are known as phosphorus granules. In the phosphorus granules, this microorganism can store phosphate as polyphosphate. Then after this assimilation, the precipitation of the phosphorus components will happen. So the solubility of these orthophosphates are mainly depending upon the pH of the aquatic ecosystem, and the pH are mainly governed by the minerals such as Ca2 plus calcium, magnesium, iron and aluminium ions in their different oxidation states. Then during this precipitation, the insoluble form of the phosphorus will be produced in the form of hydroxyapatite and vivinite and variscite, okay. Variscite, vivinite and hydroxyapatite are the major types of insoluble form of the phosphorus that is present in the ecosystem. Then the next one is the microbial solubilization of the phosphorus. So the solubilization of the phosphorus from the insoluble form to the soluble form, microbial activity that is happening due to the metabolic activity of so many microorganisms. The solubilization, effective solubilization, and thereby the utilization of this phosphorus component into more useful form by other organisms are happening. The major mechanism of the solubilization of the phosphorus component from its insoluble forms are due to the following mechanism. As I said, the microorganism produces certain types of enzyme called as a polyphosphatase, okay. Then that particular enzymes can be used. Then the next one is the production of organic and inorganic acids such as succinic acid, oxalic acid, nitric acid and sulfuric acid that also contribute to the microbial solubilization. Then the microorganism also can produce carbon dioxide that lowers the pH, and that particular process contribute the solubilization of metallic phosphorus. Then similarly, as a part of sulfur cycle, we have discussed the formation of a sulfur dioxide. Okay, and the sulfur dioxide, that is hydrogen sulfide. Hydrogen sulfide. This hydrogen sulfide that can be reacted with the iron phosphate, which can liberate a lot of organophosphate or orthophosphate. Then next one, the production of chelators, that is from the complex minerals such as calcium, iron, and aluminium. So these are the major mechanism in which microbial solubilization of a insoluble form of phosphorus that is happening through the microbial activity. Then the detrimental impact of phosphorus are also one of the most important concern in the ecosystem. So the human impact contribute a lot of detrimental impact to the phosphorus cycle. One important detrimental impact, that is anthropogenic eutrophication. I am talking about not natural eutrophication, anthropogenic eutrophication. This is the impact of a human in the phosphorus cycle. Okay, so what is happening here? The use of fertilizers, the distribution of food products, and all these components constitute a lot of phosphorus components, and this agricultural livestock, similarly urban runoff, residential runoff, okay, and similarly septic runoff, and all the municipal and food waste, agricultural, industrial, all those kind of waste that circulates lot of phosphor rich component along with the nitrogen to the river, estuary, and ocean. And what will happen? That will create a lot of phosphorus component to the freshwater ecosystem. Okay, and these fertilizers containing phosphorus that is washed into the local aquatic ecosystem. When the foods are shipped from the farm to the cities, substantial amount of phosphorus are drained into the water system. And what will happen? Due to this particular process, along with the nitrogen, then there will be a nutrient cycling will happen. What will happen? Nutrient cycling. Okay, due to this nutrient cycling, along with the nitrogen, phosphorus also will contribute a tremendous amount of nutrient cycling. Due to this particular process, the concentration of the phosphorus in the aquatic ecosystem will be increases, and due to this particular process and the overabundance of the plant nutrients, okay, nutrients will be produced and it will be supplied to the primary producers. And you know that in the ocean, similarly river, there are a lot of algae are produced, and due to this particular process there is a lot of enormous amount of algal production will be happening along with other primary producers. So, and this particular process create the massive growth of algae, that is known as algal bloom or eutrophication, and the uncontrollable production of algal bloom in the aquatic ecosystem create toxicity to the plants and aquatic animal. So this is the one of the major anthropogenic detrimental impact that is happened due to phosphorus cycle. Then say for example some of the case studies of such kind of algal blooms, you can see eutrophication. In the upper left side you can see this there is a sea, that is a very dark deep blooming like structure you can see throughout the sea. That is a cyanobacterial blue green algae that was observed in the Gulf of Finland. Okay, due to this one the massive amount of algal growth you can see, and that is algal eutrophication. And interestingly, in another right side you can see this is a sea that is look red in color. Okay, a red tide. This is known as red tide. That is due to the algae. One of the algae is known as dinoflagellates. So these dinoflagellates are contributed the algal bloom due to the eutrophication of nitrogen and phosphorus. This is commonly seen in the coastal areas of Japan. Then the third one, the upper bottom, lower bottom, you can see there is a cyanobacterial bloom. That is a St. John's River in the Florida. You can see the lot of the aquatic ecosystem is fully filled up of algal growth. The growth of other organisms are completely it will create a lot of toxic impact to the fish and other microbial and marine fauna, and that create lot of problem. Due to this, and the aquatic ecosystem will be died and floated over the surface sometimes due to this particular toxicity. And in right side, the lower bottom, again another algal bloom eutrophication. You can, that is a mixed cyanobacterial chlorophyte algal bloom that is caused in the one of the lagoon, okay, in the New Zealand. Here you can see a beautiful color. You can see the formation of this complete color is due to the massive accumulation of algal bloom that is due to this the enormous amount of phosphorus deposition in the aquatic ecosystem. Okay, so this is the artificial eutrophication. But please note that naturally also eutrophication happens. That is a controlled manner. That also some detrimental impact, but some advantages are also there. Okay, so these are the importance of a phosphorus cycle. So with this, we are going to conclude a phosphorus cycle. So phosphorus cycle is one of the most important cycle in the biogeochemical cycle. Phosphorus has got a lot of relevance. Okay, the relevance of phosphorus, that is in the ecosystem, is a very important role to play. And phosphorus is one of the slowest cycle in the world. Okay, and that doesn't involve the atmosphere at all. Only lithosphere and hydrosphere present as a major phases. The major steps of phosphorus cycle are the weathering, okay, absorption and the decomposition. Absorption by plants and animals, decomposition by microorganisms, and the microorganism plays a very vital role in the aquatic ecosystem. That process such as mineralization, assimilation, precipitation and microbial solubilization, okay, and the detrimental impact of the phosphorus cycle are also very important here. And the human impact on this particular phosphorus cycle that leads to algal bloom or artificial eutrophication. So this is the another important impact. So this is all about the cycle, phosphorus cycle, and these are the references as it is mentioned in the syllabus. Okay, as you can see, we have taken so many textbook, and in addition to that, online resources, excellent high quality reputed journals and the review papers, okay, and book chapters etc. can be used to prepare this particular portion. And if you are having any clarification, you can ask me. Okay, I thank you for your kind patience and watching the entire video. And if you are having any doubts, you can ask me, and you can post it in the groups or in the down to the video you can post. Okay, so this is all about phosphorus cycle. Okay, so with this we have completed the phosphorus cycle and the whole unit. Okay, this is all about. Have a great time. Thank you very much.